So in my last video, we went over my free agent predictions. Now we are going to go hone in our focus on the Toronto Blue Jays and who some of their free agent targets either could be or should be or will be or whatever. A lot of these guys on this list, I'm not going to lie, have probably already been linked to them. I've compiled a list of 10 free agents I think the Jays should target. They're pretty obvious targets. Again, I think most of these guys have been linked, if not all already. So there you go. I don't have any bench or depth guys on this list either. So just, we're going with impact guys who are going to be, throwing high leverage innings, starting or in that lineup every single day. But before we go any further, be sure to subscribe if you guys are brand new to the channel. I'm hoping to reach 600 subscribers by the end of the year, so that would be pretty awesome. But enough of that. Let's go take a look at who I have as free agent targets for the Toronto Blue Jays. The first one is shortstop Bo Bichette, but asterisk, because I think he'll be a second baseman if the Jays re-sign him. I think the fit is better there. Less wear and tear on Bo's body. Jimenez is a way better defender, so it'll math out really well, I think, for the analytical nerds that love that. Jimenez should be the shortstop. It gives Bo more, less wear and tear on his body. Like I said, he can focus more on his offensive game. We saw some injury issues a bit with him this year, so maybe moving him to second gets rid of that. Plus, you have to keep Bo's bat in this lineup. Like, this team is just not the Jays without Bo Bichette. Bo Bichette to me is the number one target. The number one. I got his face circled with a red marker saying, I want you. He is like, I got a shrine to him if I'm the Jays right now. Next one up is a left-handed starter, Ranger Suarez from Philly. I think this is who the Jays' number one starting pitching target is. It's not who I think it should be, but it's who I think it is. Everything about Ranger Suarez screams Blue Jay. We've heard he's a stand-up dude, loved in the clubhouse, a leadership dude, frontline ace. He's a lefty, which is something the Jays don't have. He's got really good postseason numbers. I don't know what it is. Ranger Suarez and the Toronto Blue Jays kind of feels like a match. Like, when we see it, we're like, yeah, that makes sense. Everything about it, you're going to be like, yeah, wow, no way. And be like, actually, yeah, that makes sense. Everything about that makes sense. I feel like it's a relationship set to fit. Jeff Hoffman's his former teammate. He's on the Blue Jays, so potentially something there, maybe. I don't know. I like Ranger Suarez in that rotation. Number 3, maybe? I don't know. Next up is who I think should be the number one pitching target this offseason, Dylan Cease. Dylan Cease is a better version of Nick Pivetta, and Nick Pivetta had a hell of a year. I think you get Dylan Cease behind a really good defensive team. Not saying the Padres aren't. Saying the Blue Jays, I think, are better defensively. I think the Blue Jays are the best defensive team in baseball. Put Dylan Cease there with the velo, get him cooking. I think that works really well in there. Velo plays in the playoffs. That's where you want Dylan Cease. Dylan Cease had a really good playoff outing. I know his ERA this year wasn't great, but that Pivetta's ERA last year wasn't great either, and look at what he's doing this year. Dylan Cease, the stuff, the velo, everything about Dylan Cease screams frontline starter. If you're telling me Dylan Cease is starting game 2 of a playoff series, I'm feeling pretty damn confident. I think he should be the number one starting pitching target. Next guy up is also a starter, also from San Diego. It's Michael King. Michael King feels like the cheaper Dylan Cease. Good velo. Probably only a 2 or 3 year deal. He probably sits 2 or 3 in the rotation. He's either above or below Trey Savage, in my opinion. I think Bieber's probably the 4 and Barrios is 5. Something about Michael King I like in a Blue Jays uniform. He feels like the safest option. I don't know why, and I don't really have any basis to make this claim. He just feels like the safest option out of all the free agent starters. I like Michael King in a Blue Jays uniform, plus him dicing the Yankees, the team that traded him, would be sick. Come on now. Next up is a former Yankee, Devin Williams. And actually, I'll make the bold proclamation. I don't think this is that bold. Devin Williams is my number one relief pitcher target. Number one. If there's a line of 1A, like perfect offseason, Bo, Cease, and Williams are those guys for me, I think. His numbers weren't great, but his underlying numbers suggest he should have been better. One of the lowest opponent batting averages. He was striking out a lot of guys. They were hitting him hard, you know. He was getting some runs where he probably shouldn't have been. I think Devin Williams is in for a huge bounce back. Whoever gets him this offseason is in luck. The Jays want another swing guy, or not a swing guy, high leverage guy late in the game, 8th or 9th inning. They said Hoffman's not married to the closer role. It sure as hell seemed like they wanted a new closer. Devin Williams kind of fits the mold where, you know, he's not going to take Edwin Diaz money. He's only going to be about a 2 or 3 year deal, and you probably get him at 12, maybe 13 a year, which is kind of right where the Jays' limit is on relievers. Like, Hoffman was the biggest one, AAV-wise. Devin Williams is better than Jeff Hoffman, in my humble opinion. Go get Devin Williams. Number 1 target. After that, I got Alex Bregman. He's merely here because if you miss on Bo and you miss on the other bats, Alex Bregman's still a good bat to throw in there. You can throw him at third base. It knocks Ernie to second, Jimenez to short, Barger's in right field, and then you kind of move stuff around after that. Bregman is superior at third base defensively compared to anyone else on this team. I could really get behind Alex Bregman in Toronto. You heard all the positive things about what he did to that Boston clubhouse. Now imagine what he would do on a World Series team. Not to mention Miles Straw, former Astro, George Springer, former Astro, played with Alex Bregman, former Astro. After that, I got Soto coming to Toronto. Gregory Soto. He's leaving the Mets. He's coming to Toronto. They need a lefty. I don't trust Brendan Little going forward. They need a lefty with velo. Gregory Soto's that guy. His stuff could play. I like it. Next up, the big free agent. He has been talked about again and again and again. Linking him to the Toronto Blue Jays. Kyle Tucker. This is a pipe dream, folks. If Kyle Tucker suits up in Toronto, do not pinch me because I might be dreaming. I think he should be a target for the Blue Jays. Realistically, do I think he comes to Toronto? Probably not. Kyle Tucker should be. You put him in right field, you get an outfielder who's there for a decade, you know, with Springer and Varsho both being free agents at the end of next season. Kyle Tucker is the dude. You can move Nathan Lucas or Joey Loperfido, move them around, do what you need to do. Maybe you get a starter that way. Kyle Tucker, Toronto just gives me, like, happy vibes, you know? Next up, I got Sir Anthony Dominguez being a 7th or 8th inning guy. I really liked his stuff. He got swing and miss stuff. You know, the command was a little iffy, but I really do like Dominguez in the back end of that bullpen. I enjoyed seeing him in a Jays uniform. I enjoyed watching him on the mound. I'd love to see Sir Anthony Dominguez pitch in 2026 for the Jays. And last, but certainly not least, and probably the most unrealistic, Edwin Diaz leaving the Mets, coming to the Blue Jays. Ken Rosenthal dropped the bomb on Friday, I guess, where he was linking, he dropped a really weird article where he just basically linked the Jays like 7 times to Edwin Diaz, which was weird. It doesn't fit the Ross Atkins mold. They don't spend $20 a year on a reliever, which is what Edwin Diaz will command. I don't think it works. I don't think it makes sense. Well, I think it makes sense. I think it work. I don't think it works in the way of the Jays, the way they work. I don't think the Jays do it. I'd love Edwin Diaz. That's your 1A, 1B reliever. I prefer Devin Williams. Again, call me crazy. I just don't see Edwin Diaz coming to the Blue Jays. Still, do your due diligence if there's interest there and it's not ridiculous. Maybe. But that's the list. Let me know what you think of it. Who would you add to the list? Who is like a dude you're like, how? How did you not include him? He has to be in there. Let me know. Other than that, if you enjoyed the video, drop a like. It means a lot. Also, be sure to subscribe if you guys are brand new to the channel. We'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.